Hey guys, I'm Tiffany and you found me on the Wise Skies channel. I'm here to talk to you about the November astrology and numerology forecast. There's a big, huge eclipse with a Mercury Cazimi. There is, what else is going on? Oh, the numerology shifts to an 8. There's lots of things to talk about this month. Before we get going, I just want to welcome anybody that's new to the channel. Wise Skies is a metaphysical counseling company. We offer one-on-one sessions and a really cool membership. And in the month of November, we're doing a membership drive where if you refer a friend, both of you get a free 30-minute reading live, Zoom, or on the phone with me. So I would love to work with you. If you've always wanted a session, you can easily get one just by referring a friend to our program. So you're in the program, the friend's in the program, and both of you get 30-minute sessions with me. So all of November, this membership drive is going on, and we're having a gratitude sale on 11/11 where we have 75% off, up to 75% off, 50 to 75% some things on our books, our products, and our services. So I hope you'll check it out. If you're not on our mailing list, you're going to want to get on it because this is the time of year where we get to be really grateful and do a lot of giveaways. So that's a little bit of housekeeping. We have a few classes I want to tell you about, and then we'll go right into the numerology. So the upcoming classes, because I'm recording this early in October, you might be able to catch the last 2 of the psychic development classes in this little set. October 18th, we're doing remote viewing, which is one of my favorite. And on the 25th, we're doing psychometry because it's close to Halloween and kind of witchy. On the 19th, Tawny, also a Lisa Williams master teacher, is teaching us paranormal investigation, not psychology. That's a class I took in college. So she's going to do paranormal for us. And if you want to get a sneak peek of that, you can catch her on the podcast, or she just did Ask Me Anything on our Instagram channel. And then last but not least, on the 16th, Lavanga is teaching us a Vedic astrology. So if you've ever wondered what's the difference between Vedic and Western, it's a lot. But she's going to break it down for us in a really simple way. And she's also offering her Vedic sessions at Wise Skies for $108. So check it out. There's a lot of cool things in the blog. There's a new article about Cazimi. There's, of course, our 2023 digital astrology calendar is out. The paperback version is coming. Sasha just did a podcast about Time Lords and progressions. And so there's a lot of fun stuff this time of year. Okay, now you came because you wanted to hear about what is up in November. And the first thing is that the numerology is going to shift from a 7 to an 8. So an 8 month, right? This feels very roll the dice. It feels very exciting, exhilarating. It feels very lottery ticket, right? And so the best person to take a chance on is going to be yourself, right? So take a chance on yourself in the month of November. It's an 8 month and a 6 year. So you might be taking a chance on your home. You might be doing some home improvement, some rearranging of some things at home, some renegotiating of some things at home. There could be big financial decisions with the 8, of course. And, if you turn the 8 over on its side, it turns into the infinity symbol, which is just a reminder to connect with your cosmic self too. You can look back to February because February was also an 8 month and a 6 year. So if you notice some things that feel very similar or coming back around, that you could see some patterns from February coming back up. This is a month where you're going to feel all in. And like we say in the programs, half measures avail us nothing. So it benefits you to be all in, but be aware of that so that you're not overwhelmed or overcommitted, right? So what are you willing to be all in with? If there's some area where you're kind of one foot in, one foot out, that's not going to feel good. It's going to come up for your attention in the month of November for sure. All right. And in the astrology, the sun is going to move from Scorpio to Sagittarius, and so are Venus and Mercury. So everybody's kind of leaning into the Sagittarius season. Jupiter's going to go direct in Pisces on the 23rd. We'll talk about that when we get there. But the first, I started breaking down the month into thirds instead of weeks. And I did that mostly for my psychic development students. But I also, it's just kind of easier to talk about it that way. So the first part of November, the 1st through the 10th, I feel like we're going to still be adapting to some curveballs, okay? There's a first quarter moon at 8 degrees of Aquarius on the 1st. So a first quarter moon in Aquarius, that means that 9 months ago, something was planted in that early part of Aquarius in your chart. So wherever 8 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart, can you look that up and see what house it's in and see what's really feeling like it's kicking into gear, like action needs to be taken, like something is ready for you to do something about it. This is at the micro level, it's a good day to be in action, be moving forward, see what you're motivated to do. And in the bigger picture, it's like, okay, what 9 months ago, what was planted for me that now it's time to kick it into gear. Venus is going to oppose Uranus on the 5th. And so this first week, you're probably going to notice this, a diversity would be a way of looking at that, and diversification would be a way to look at that, and looking at what you don't like to determine what you do like having contrast in different things is going to be helpful in the first week of November. And again, that idea of being aware of overcommitting. Venus is going to square Saturn on the 7th. So you're going to feel that a couple days leading up to it. It feels like money might be a little tight, that you might be prone to overspend. If you're feeling like this heavy weight of responsibility or feeling restriction, how can you work through some of those limitations? This is an opportunity for a little attitude adjustment and really being willing to face whatever comes our way, right? The astrology, you can't use it against yourself. You have to use it as an awareness tool. So we're not predicting that bad things are coming, but we're also getting a little heads up, like maybe it's not the best time to overspend or eat too many sweets, right? Venus, of course, ruling sweets and sugars and all things beautiful in our life. The full moon eclipse is going to happen in 16 degrees of Taurus on the 8th, the same day as a Mercury Cazimi. The full moon eclipse, okay, if you think about it being in Taurus, and you think about more being revealed, and you think about feeling like an eclipse is like 100 days packed into 24 hours. So this idea that some exciting news in the media or something really feels like it's coming unearthed, right? Taurus, or you're feeling like you're coming out of your body, right? Like that can be a very shocking experience. So this is a great eclipse to work with, grounding, with being centered. And you never know what you're practicing for. So just keep doing the practice up until the moment of eclipse and see what happens. Eclipses we often experience or understand the wisdom of by looking back. So, making intentions around healthy Taurus things, healthy meal prep, and feeling physically stronger, getting into kind of a new rhythm of the fall, that can be helpful. What can you do to feel rooted? And also just a reminder to go slow during eclipse energy. I mentioned that there's going to be a Mercury Cazimi at the same day, right? So Mercury is going to be conjunct the sun, or in the heart of the sun. Cazimi is an Arabic term that means in the heart of the sun. And we have a huge article about that Sasha wrote that is so well done. So I'm just going to direct you to that article if you're wanting to learn more about what each planet is, what it means when each planet is Cazimi. For Mercury, of course, ruling information, there might be information overload. You could get some good news. But the idea is that I feel like there's going to be a lot of news around that first week of November, especially as we're looking at elections and other things that we could be looking at. And I wanted to just mention that Cazimis are in the 2023 digital calendar and our new journal that is a paperback version of the digital calendar. So Cazimis we have listed for you all in 2023. It's a good time to brainstorm new solutions and to really be open-minded, because in the background of what's happening, right, the sun is going to oppose Uranus on the 9th, right? And so Uranus and Taurus, the sun in Scorpio, this whole like polar opposites of the resources access, really. I think that we're going to be seeing some different information about resources and about the earth. So let's see what else. On the 10th, a test of endurance is what I wrote. Mercury is going to square Saturn on the 10th. And so this can be like, Mercury helps you look at the details. And so just checking in with your processes, your procedures, going back over what's not working so that you can see what is working, right? Using the wisdom of the numerology here too. Saturn shows us what we're afraid of. It's referred to as a mini devil sometimes. And so noticing if you want to break through some fears, or if you want to work through some fears, this would be a good time to check into that. And Saturn rules our elders and our mentors, and Mercury rules studying too. So this could be a good time to take a class or check in with a mentor, a wise elder, connect with your guides, things like this. It's always good advice, isn't it? Now Venus is going to try Neptune on the 10th. And so this is more of a love and creativity vibe. And so around the 10th, you're going to have this whole like, let there be peace, let it begin with me. You're going to settle down after this big earthquakey type of a feeling with the eclipse energy. So just know that right after it, it's like there's a coming together, there's a unity, there's a healing, and it feels a lot better. We've got November 11th through 20th. I'm calling it Airstream Adventures. Okay. On the 11th, I want to remind you that there's a big gratitude sale that we have up to 75% off of our readings and products, our books and journals and calendars. So please check it out. Hop on our mailing list if you're not already. On the 11th, the sun is going to square Saturn. And so I'm going to just say, like, really make your health a priority. Don't let it be an afterthought. If you know you shouldn't be eating gluten, just cut it out. If you know that you need to get to the chiropractor, go ahead and make that appointment. If something feels a little bit suspicious, it's time to address it and take care of it and really get on top of your health as we go into the remainder of the year. Now, Mercury is going to trine Neptune on the 12th. And so this is where you're naturally gifted and talented. Maybe you don't even feel like you are, but somebody else can point out like, wow, you're a natural at that. You're really talented at that thing. This would be a good time to work at what you're good at, work with your strengths. This is still a very creative zone. So tapping into the muse by being quiet and not talking so much, but listening, right? Like take a breath. I know I get into these forecasts and I tend to talk really fast because the information streams really fast, but it's good to also slow down and listen and to not constantly have something in your ears, not to constantly be listening to books or articles, not to constantly have the TV on, and to try to find some true peace and quiet, and really sit still and listen. It's a really good form of therapy too. Okay, so looking around the 13th, Venus is going to sextile Pluto. There's a lot going on in the sky on like the 13th through the 15th. There's a lot of action and it's all really positive. This would be a good time to work on some financial planning, some estate planning, some savings for trips, changing some things up in your money department, getting a different perspective, reconnecting with your love, with your deepest human bonds, right? Venus and Pluto, that is a very, very deep, intimate bond. Healing that like through forgiveness. We when we're wounded in relationship, we heal in relationship. We don't just heal alone on an alone island, right? So looking at ways to improve yourself within the context of your relationships can be always good advice, but the astrology helps support it this time of year. Venus is going to enter Sagittarius on the 16th under a last quarter moon, which is at 24 degrees of Leo. And then Mercury will join Venus in Sagittarius the next day on the 17th. So two big planets change and we have a last quarter moon when some bill is coming to due, when something is being, the comeuppance is here, right? There's a conclusion in place. There's a conclusion in place, two of the signs move into Sagittarius where we have this freedom vibe. And so a good journal prompt would be, what do I want to be free from? And what do I want to be free for? Right. And so working with those questions, this is a good time to be excited about the adventures of life. Sagittarius rules overseas connection, foreign language, foreign meals. You might want to learn to cook something from a culture that's different than yours. It can be a time when you want to study law or religion or publishing, it's ruled by Jupiter, all things under the Sagittarius umbrella. Okay, Mercury is going to trine Jupiter on the 16th. So if you're looking for a legal win, or if you're looking for a graduation ceremony, or if you're looking to start a new school or get into a new, crowd or be a teacher's pet, right? Like Mercury is going to trine Jupiter on the 16th. And that's where that's a good moment to be really in a good place with schools, publishing, things like this. There's a lot of flow, right, with Mercury trine Jupiter, a lot of information too. All right, so the sun is going to sextile Pluto on the 18th. This is all about personal empowerment, and this is personal empowerment you find through your own personal experience. So I would say do like a workout, do get your body moving and then sit still for meditation and listen to what comes to you, right? This is a really nice catalyzing transit that feels good, but it also, Pluto reminds us how close we are to death. You know, it reminds us of the regeneration and cleansing process. And so, you know, what do you want to do with this one precious human life this time around the wheel? What kind of forgiveness needs to happen? What kind of activities do you want to experience while you're here? And just really getting grateful and juicy, you know, the energy gets really juicy and regenerative for you. So that's all good. Now comes is that Mars is going to square Neptune, and Mars squares Neptune exactly on the 19th, but Mars usually shows up early. So you could see this as early as, like, you know, the 15th or so. Mars is good because we need aggression and drive and stamina and blood. But when it's in a compromising angle to Neptune, right? Neptune is like the peacekeeper. Neptune, it can influence Neptune in a way where Neptune, it's like the bad behaviors of all things Neptune, which would be escapism, drowning your sorrows out, checking out with drugs and alcohol, big mistakes that, you know, errors in medication, poisons, toxins, fevers, deception, confusion. These are all things that come with Mars square Neptune. So I want you to have the caution lights on. I want you to go slow as you're approaching the 19th and into the holidays. I want to make sure we say that we are wishing all nations and people a very happy week of gratitude, Thanksgiving week. From our whole hearts, may all beings be blessed. May all beings be joyous and free. And may your blessings be multiplied this year and throughout your life. We love you so much. We're grateful for you. I wanted to make sure that got said. Okay, the last third of November, we're talking about spiritual growth. The sun is going to trine Jupiter. Mercury is going to conjunct Venus on the 21st. It really is time to kind of make the most of your life. And so you got hints at it all month long. It might not have been super comfortable. You might have been out of your comfort zone a little bit, but by the end of the month, it's like, yeah, we really are going to act our way into right thinking. We're not going to wait around for the right astrology. We're going to be a changed person. The sun moves into Sagittarius on the 22nd, all the way through December 21st, the solstice. So happy birthday to all of our Sagittarius. If you have a Sagittarius that you love and you need a special gift, we invite you to come to the shop at wiseskiescollective.com, get them a gift certificate, get them a special book or calendar from us. We would love that. So let's see what else is happening. We've got a new moon, I think, here. Yeah. Okay. So the new moon on the 23rd, it's going to be in 1 degree of Sagittarius. So you can get some extra insight as to where things are kicking off for you, or what you might not be aware of in the dark of the new moon by looking at where 1 degree of Sagittarius is, and a new 2.5-year moon family cycle will start. So a lot, again, expecting spiritual growth, and it will happen. Just as a heads up, yeah. Jupiter is going to, what did I just tell you at the beginning? Scrolling. Jupiter is going to go direct in Pisces on the 23rd, and then it will move into Aries on December 20th. And I have a huge comprehensive guide about Jupiter and Aries and what it means for each sign that I'll be sure to link down there. So over the holidays, over the week, however you're celebrating or whatever comes for you at the end of November, know that there's a lot of energy that helps you seek to understand the other person. Mercury and Venus are going to trine Chiron on the 25th. It's very healing. It makes space so that we don't have to be right, that we can see God in each other, that we can see our own reflection in each other's eyes. And it looks like there's just a very healing, cleansing vibe going on. At the very end of the month, Mercury is going to oppose Mars, right? And so you want to think of like King of Swords or Queen of Swords energy. Sometimes the truth hurts, but being direct and honest makes it, I guess the truth may hurt, but it might actually be the most freeing thing for everybody involved. So if you need to approach some uncomfortable topics at the end of the month, tapping in with your courageous conversations, tools that help you really say what you need to say without hurting anybody else. So There's Mercury's going to sextile Saturn on the 30th. Again, that wave of leaning into mentorship, leaning into studying something from somebody older and wiser than you, or if you are older and wiser, sharing that information with the younger generation. It's also a really good time to study your family lineage. And my ancestry account just like increased to the point where I'm like I'm not going to do it anymore. But I have saved all of my PDFs and saved all of my data and stuff. But if you're new to ancestry work, this could be a really nice time for you to tap into that. There's also a first quarter moon at 8 degrees of Pisces on the 30th. And so this kind of reminds me of like, yeah, we've got to be in action. Some first quarter moon, it's like, do you want to take a small step towards what? Pisces, your dreams. So some small steps towards your dreams. If there was something that you wanted to get done this year and it passed you by, is there just one little thing that you could do? When I started the Wise Guys podcast, which was like 5 years ago, I did it like in the end of December. It's like, I really wanted to do it this year. And it felt really good and rewarding to figure it out, to go through the grind. At that time, it wasn't just that easy to start a podcast. It was like, there was lots of, the technology was very different, right? But it felt so rewarding. And that is the same kind of influence that's available here. It's like there's something that that feels like you could take a small step towards your biggest dreams, and it would feel so successful and rewarding. Okay, so as we look into December, we are looking at December as a 9-month and a 6-year. So a lot of things integrating. So this is a month that naturally feels like it would bring closure and completion because it's at the end of our calendar, but that 9 is going to influence that. So what are you integrating? The 9 can bring in a sense of urgency and overstimulation. And so again, just can we calm down and let something integrate? Can we not have to fix it, right? Can we just let it be? And so integration reminds me of the word integrity too. So where are we being in integrity with ourselves as the year closes? Have we abandoned a part of ourselves that we need to go back and find and heal on the timeline somewhere? So we would love to work with you guys. That's a quick glance at November, breaking it down into thirds. Again, the first part is really all about adapting to curveballs. The second is about having these adventures. And then the third part is really about spiritual growth and deepening and your own devotion to your spiritual practices. So we're at wiseguyscollective.com. I'm Tiffany. There are several other practitioners with us that do many different things. I do psychic mediumship and astrology. We've got Alicia doing human design. April is in Akashic Records. Sasha is doing progressions and Time Lords. And then Lavanga is doing Vedic readings for us this season. So if you're needing a reading this season, we would love to help you out. And lots of free content at our website. And we're so glad you're here. Please like and subscribe and share this with a friend if it's been useful or helpful to you in planning your November. So until we can hang out again, guys, namaste and all my best to you over the holidays.